Hey guys, the team has been named for the Australian Tests, and no surprises, a very experienced team that Russie's picked there. We knew he was going to probably, make some changes, but I think there's a couple of things that have happened that have left him that he doesn't have too much of a choice. He has a very experienced team. He's gone back to a lot of the experienced players. It's going to be interesting to see how the selections are, though, because there's 24 World Cup winners in the 37-man squad. And other than that, sorry, there's just a bit of glare. I'm just going to move up a little bit. Hopefully it takes a little bit of the glare away. And there's five players who made their debuts. Now, of those five players, Bowen Venter's there because there's no Ntuku Mchunu or Gerard Steenekamp, who are both still injured. So that's one of the reasons why Bowen Venter's there. Same with Asenati, the loss of Frans Malherbe has left a spot open there. Jasper Wisse's suspension has left a spot open for Kobus Wisse. I think he's probably the lucky guy there. But there's no spots. The big news, there's no spots in the 37-man squad for Faf de Klerk and Makazole Mapimpi and Lucanio Am. Now, there's probably a couple of reasons for this. One of them, let's first start with Lucanio. The reason for him, I think, is just because he's come back from injury. So I think they're just giving him more time. I don't think we need to read anything more into that. They've got Ethan Hooker, who's made his debut and covers there as well. They've also got a lot of cover in centres as well. There's a lot of players that can play in the midfield as well. With Andre Pollard, Damon Willems can both play 12. Damon de Linde's played 13 before as well. Ethan Hooker's probably the guy that they're going to play there and give him a bit more of a run. So I see that happening. That's why Lucanio Am's there. In Faf's case, I think it's quite well known now that Grant Williams has established himself as the number one. I think that's quite... and Russie's been giving Morne van der Berg a lot more of a run. He got two tests, a game against the Barbarians and a game against Italy. Certainly he seems to be somebody that they rate very highly. So Morne van der Berg is there. And then Kobus Reinigs, the other experienced scrum half, who's never done badly in a Bok jersey. In fact, has done pretty well. I thought Faf didn't have the greatest run on in Loftus. But after that, came back very strongly in the test against Georgia in that second half. Really did well there. He is on standby. They haven't been thrown away. But I think we might be starting to see the start of a move away from certain players. And maybe it sounds a bit more dramatic than it really is. Those players are still around if you need them. But I think we'll probably see a guy like Morne van der Berg a lot more involved now. And Grant Williams there. You need three scrum halves on a tour, like on a two-test series like this, which is good. And then the other one who's not there is Makazole Mapimpi. He of course said quite publicly that he's not going to the World Cup in 2027, and he is 35 years old now. I think and I think Edward van der Merwe's 3 tries in the 2 games he scored has sort of opened the door for him to take his place there. So those are the 3 big names that probably aren't there. A couple of others, Salman Murat's not there. I think that probably was Ron Norkier. And the fact that Kobus Wisse can probably play at 8, 7 and 4 has probably given him the nod ahead of Salman Murat. I know there's a lot of people who feel Salman Murat hasn't brought his A game to the box. We had a lot of reaction to our chat with Nick Mallet the other day, where Nick rates obviously Salman. There's a lot of people who obviously don't feel the same who watch the video. But saying that as it is, he's still a very good captain, and he's still a very good lock. And he is on standby for the Springboks if there's an injury. So he's the one guy. Evan Roos is the other one, which is probably going to get people talking. He didn't make it. But I think at the moment, the competition at number 8, Jean-Luc du Preez coming back, and the fact that he didn't play in these 4 games, in the first phase of the Springbok, probably gave him the nod. So I don't think we should read too much into it. Although, I suppose if you're an Evan Roos fan and you rate him, you probably point out that he hasn't really been given an extended run. He always seems to be on the fringes. You certainly get that sense, with the way Russie picks him. But if it's anything more than that, I don't actually know. Of course, we're also missing guys like Elric Lowe and Cameron Hanekom, both injured as well. So they out as well. Another guy who misses out, Neethling Forshia, I think that was just one of those where I think there's Vincent Koch and Wilke Lowe are the 2 tight heads there. So I think they... and Asenati, the one who's come in third. So Neethling Forshia is probably just behind Asenati in the pecking order. If we Sorry, I had to think about that for a moment, all these players. But yeah, he's probably just behind Asinati in terms of the pecking order, and but he's on standby as well. Just going to go through quickly the rest of the squad as well. Let me get it up here quickly while we're chatting and just see who else there is that we can talk about. Let's see. Okay. So, let's go through them. The props, I think, pretty self-explanatory. Vincent Koch there, Wilco Lowe, Oxenchair, Asinati, and Bowen Fent. I think Bowen obviously there because, as I said, Gerard Steenekamp and Tuku Mchunu are there, and he gets another run. He did pretty well against Georgia. The hookers, Malcolm Marks and Bongi Madambi, both they expected to be there. Of course, you've got Jan-Hendrik Wessels, who's a utility forward, who's also there. He can also play prop and hooker, so he's on as well there. You see he's listed on the utility forward a bit further down. Magnus van der Merwe, the third hooker. It's a specialist position. You have to have a third hooker, so you always take one with. So not surprising he's there. Locks, I think Rudi Jager's return in his good game against the Barbarians certainly gave him the nod there. Evan Etzebeth expected to be there. Ronald Kier was the man of the match against Georgia. We expected that. Franco Mostert has only really played a little bit for the Boks this season. But he's a double World Cup winner. Same with RG Snyman. Always a good guy on the bench. Kobus Visser gets there, obviously, because his versatility, as I said. Loose forwards, Peter Steff would always be there. Jean-Luc is back from maternity leave, or paternity leave, should I say. Sia Khaleesi will probably captain the side. Kwagga Smith will always be there. Marco van Staden was the internal man of the match for the team in the game against Italy in Gabertha. And then you got Jan-Hendrik Wessel. So a very strong pack that you can easily pick a bunch of World Cup winners, a very strong pack. It's going to definitely be a pack that I think will probably dominate Australia, and that's what they're looking for. Then going to the back line, scrum-offs, as we said, Grant Williams probably number one over there. Morne van der Berg, Kobus Reinach, both of them there. Fly-offs, of course, Andre Pollard, Sasha Feinberg, Ngomazulu, and Mani Lebok. No surprises there. It's just going to be interesting to see who of them gets the nod against Australia, because that's a big thing. The Boks want some momentum to start off the tournament. They want to do well, so that's them. And then midfielders, no surprise, Damon Delenda, Andre Esthuizen, who's also a cover for Frank lately, hybrid player, Ethan Hooker, who I think is got the nod because Lukanya is obviously not 100% ready yet. Jesse Krill and Kanan Moody, who had a very strong second test against Italy and a strong test against Georgia, and he's really come through well. And he's such a versatile player. You can play him at wing as well. He's certainly a player that deserves to be there. Back three, no surprises here. Kurtley Arendse, Apelele Fassi, Cheslin Colby, Kurtley and Cheslin, two obviously first choice wingers. Then you've got Edward van der Merwe, who's the third guy there. And then the fullbacks. And I say fullbacks because Willie Leroux and Apelele Fassi are the two fullbacks there. Interesting to see Willie there. Obviously, Rossi feels he can still contribute quite a bit. And then Damien Willems, who can play 10, 12 and 15. Also, he's more a utility back, I suppose, but certainly a player who's in his limited appearances since returning from injury for the Boks now. He played exceptionally well. He came on and scored a try in the test in Gabertha, and certainly did well. So a very strong side. A couple of guys missing out. Let's go through on them. All these guys are on what can I say, standby. That's the word I'm looking for. Nathan Fischer, Salman Marat, Evan Rus, Vincent Chituka, who also had 2 games, scored a try as well. Faf de Klerk, Makazole Mapimpi, and Lucanio Am. They're all on standby. Thomas du Toit has been given a rest in agreement with the Premiership Rugby, but if there is an injury, they can call him up as well. And Jasper Visser is serving his 4-game suspension. So he's 1 game into that, so he won't be part of the 2 games in Australia. Still injured, Gerard Steenkamp, Ulrich Lowe, Cameron Honeycomb, Jean Klein. You could probably put Trevor Niakani's name and Frans Malherbe's name with that, but still a very, very, very exciting squad for the Australian games. Very tried and tested. It's a squad that we all know. It's a squad that we expect to dominate, and it's a squad that certainly will you'd probably get that sort of squad going in against the All Blacks in Eden Park as well. Not too sure you're going to see too many youngsters against the All Blacks, but you might see a guy like Ethan Hooker, for instance, and depending on how they want to play, maybe a Morne van der Berg on the bench. It'd be interesting to see. I think Wilco will probably stay as number 1 tight head as well. But certainly a very familiar look to the squad. a very comfortable look and a very strong pack. All the ticking all the boxes that the Boks want to go in and defend their rugby championship. They certainly want to win that, and that starts with winning the 2 games against Australia. Anyway, let me know what you think of the squad. I'd love to know that. Who do you think missed out? What do you think of the guys who missed out? What about the guys on the outside? Was there anybody you thought might have come in? And just your thoughts on who do you think will be starting. So let me know. It's always good in the comments. Also, if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. We're trying to build, obviously, a channel here around the rugby and bring you as much rugby news as possible. I'm off quickly now to go see Johan Ackermann's first press conference at the Bulls. If you're around a bit later this afternoon, that'll be up on the channel. As soon as we finish there, lovely to hear what Akkers has to say. Good to see the man again after his good stint with the junior Boks. So, all that. And, let me know what you think in the comments. Chat soon. Cheers.